Hello all, old geek. If you hear any chuntering from my computer in this video, it's because the side's off. It's having a bit of a fit. It needs more RAM. It's really struggling. Anyway, I'm back with our series of browsing through the Dragon magazine. And this is from 1978, I believe, this one. And we're on to issue 6. April 1977. I do apologise. 1977, this was still. April 1977, issue 6. And looking at the cover, they're trying to bring more colour to it. That's fairly obvious. But the image is very brown. It wouldn't exactly jump off the shelf, I'm afraid. It might have done in 1977, but no, I'm not particularly impressed. No. Okay, right, let's move on. Mythos and logos is what it says at the bottom there. Wonder what that's in relation to. Anyway, heritage models, big advert. But we're on to Dragon Rumbles. This is the Tim Kask intro, the editorial. It is a distinct pleasure to be writing this, the 6th instalment of this column, to a readership that has grown fourfold in the past year. The past year has seen us increase our publishing rate from bi-monthly to 8 times yearly. Okay, right. Okay. So there are. Moving towards monthly production, but not quite there yet. So what's in this edition? Clone Bank Alpha, Sea Trade in D&D, Legions of the Petal Throne Painting Guide, Forest of Flame, and Illustrated Fantasy Tale. Designers Forum from Fantasy Forge, figures reviewed. Oh, review of figures. Gnome Cache, still going with that. Optional Psionic Determination D&D. Okay, that'll be interesting to see how that compares with what eventually appeared in the Player's Handbook in 1978. Morale in D&D. I still think the best morale system was basic D&Ds. And featured creature the Death Angel. That's a new one to me. Okay, let's move on. Publisher's statement. Alternative beginning sequence for Metamorphosis Alpha. Right, okay, so that's what this Clone Bank Alpha is. It's sci-fi. I know there's people who like sci-fi. People comment they do, and I know nothing about this one, and I'm not a sci-fi fan. No. So it's not of any interest to me. This might be, though, Sea Trade in D&D Campaigns by Ronald C. Spencer Jr. The Bardukian campaign, currently being played by several members of the crew of the USS Benjamin Franklin, has produced some interesting developments due to the varied areas of interest of the participants. Okay. I remember there being boats in basic D&D. And yeah, there was boats in AD&D, wasn't there? I don't know much about AD&D. So what we got? Oh, it's profit and loss, fees and taxes, procedures to go through when trading. Okay. So it is literally the trading rules. So it looks at this table. You basically send a boat, and that's your percentage chance of it being successful and what profit you get. And if you get an X, your boat is lost. A few layout issues on the table, but that happened. Yeah, breaks it down, makes it nice and easy. I mean, all transactions don't need to be role played. Are there any modifiers for the charisma of the captain? Maybe. Or the nature of the contact. Because of course not all trade is legit. Wizards and Warriors. Is that misspelling of wizards intentional in this advert, or is that just a mistake? For the finest in fantasy, misspellings. Oh, they've spelt wizards with a double Z there again, so maybe it's intentional. Okay. I'm looking for the word wizard, see if it appears again. Can't see it. Alright. Legends of the Petal Foam Painting Guide. Painting guides are always useful. But obviously nowadays you've got much better production quality. I've got a Reaper painting guide somewhere, and nice colourful pictures showing you how different layers work. So it's always going to be difficult to describe this in text. And of course you've got YouTube nowadays for these. I'm not the world's greatest painter. I'm not the world's worst. I'm just a competent amateur. That's a bit of my painting. That's my angel statue. They've all gone a bit faded though, because I didn't varnish them properly. I haven't painted for a couple of years, so mine are a bit dusty and faded at the moment. There you go, there's a little troll for you. So yeah, the geek can paint a little bit. Nothing special. Werebore. Right. I'm hoping the camera focused on that okay. If not, you just got blur. Right, so painting guides are useful, and obviously with limited resources and limited ability to put colour in the magazine, it's going to be hard to get it right. So that might be worth reading through if you enjoy painting, especially if you enjoy painting figures with an Eastern flavour to them, because Empire of the Petal Foam was an East Asian flavour to it. I know that now. Some bonkers monsters. This multi-armed and legged thing looked a lot like what a Modron was, Monster Manual 2. Those arms and legs sticking out everywhere. It is very demonic. Very demonic over here. Some interesting monsters there. Quite like those. The Forest of Flame. Right. This was a story. Let me just flick back. There was something about this story, there wasn't there, in the... An illustrated fantasy tale, that's what it was. Oh yeah, okay. So you've got these illustrations. Sorry for the flicking about. And these illustrations aren't that bad. Wonder who the artist is. Does it say? Is it all Sutherland? I know Sutherland was the main artist for this, but... Oh no. Morneau. Who's Morneau? That's the person who did the cover. I don't mind this black and white work. Morneau. Is there any credits for him? It's not a name I recognise. Cover by Morneau. And there's internal art by Morneau as well. But that's all I know about Morneau. Never seen him before. I used to look up the artists. So that I'd be more likely to read this type of story with the artwork. Feels a bit lighter. Archive Miniatures. Designers Forum. Okay. Is this an advert? Looks like it's... Oh, tips for designing miniatures. Oh no, this is further rules modifications for Metamorphosis Alpha. I didn't see this bit in the intro. So this archive miniatures thing on the side is just another advert. Though the harpy looks interesting. Wind Child. Harpy. More like a harpy. Okay, she's got no claws, but looks like a harpy. I think they're quite good. More miniature adverts. It looks like the miniature sales companies liked advertising in Dragon magazine. They Always lots of them. Judges Guild. From the Fantasy Forge. Are these? Oh, is this more adverts continued? Okay. Right. Okay. So this is a picture, and this is a description of what's in the picture. Looks like it. Okay. So it's telling you what's all in this picture, because the picture's not all that clear. Ooh, turn to one side. There's a lot of adverts in this issue. More adverts than usual. Make myself dizzy. Ogre? Steve Jackson did Ogre, didn't he? Yeah. Never played it. More adverts. Yeah, I've had enough of adverts now in this one. There are too many, and here's some more fiction. I really, really liked the 5th edition of Dragon. Lots of really good stuff in there. This one's been very disappointing so far. Very, very disappointing. This would have put me off. They might be publishing more frequently, but it looks like the quality has dipped because it's adverts and fiction. Okay, now's something I would have interest in. Determination of psionic abilities. So these are rules for OD&D, because that's what it was out at the time on psionics. It's just something mentioned about Eldritch Wizardry, a book I've never read. So were the psionics in Eldritch Wizardry? I don't know. I'm guessing so. But this looks very close to what eventually appeared in AD&D, because some of these abilities are the sort of I remember seeing these sort of abilities, body equilibrium, and those sort of things. That they were some of the powers that you got in the psionic section of AD&D. Didn't have very many psionic characters. In the last 30-something years, none. May have cheated to have some in the 80s when we were kids, but so it's been a long, long time since I've used psionics. But I don't hate the idea of them. Unlike some people, I don't hate them. Yeah, they were a bit overpowered, but oh well. Morale in D&D. Charisma and loyalty ratings by looks of things. It looks like a slightly more complicated version of what we eventually saw in basic D&D. What dice do you roll? What dice do you roll? Does it say? I like the 2d6 method in basic. I think that was very, very simple. A +1 meant something, and bonuses and penalties were small. It was fast. It was easy, which is exactly what you want it to be. But I'm guessing this is where it all sort of began. I don't know if morale rules were in OD&D. Did it say? It looks like they're rolling 3d6. 3 to 18. Right, okay. Oh no. No, this is basically this is your charisma. So this is your bravery and loyalty adjustments based on your charisma. So what dice do you roll for morale? I don't know. Answers in the chat below. It's probably in the OD&D rulebook, and I'm just stupid and not looking it up because I'm lazy. The Disenchanted Forest by Arthur J. Breer. Has this replaced it? It's better for me to just say I think. This cartoon's better drawn. Phineas Fingers and the Return of Fred and Charlie. Right, he's trying to appeal to the good nature of the monster. Okay. Monster doesn't like bribery. I guess that's a bad reaction roll. Or just didn't offer him enough. Freeze, I'm bored, flak, the bolt lobber, mighty wizard, and I seldom miss at this range. Oh, monster's dinner is ruined. And... Oh, has he frozen the monster? He has frozen the monster already because they're all climbing out. I thought they'd be digested by now. Oh well. Okay, alright, so the thief and his chums are able to continue with their adventuring. They've climbed out of the monster's stomach. This isn't bad artwork. This would have been better on the cover. That's rather nice. It's DCS. Well done, DCS. How come your piece of artwork got dropped in the middle of the magazine and a worse piece of art was put on the cover? That is much, much better. That's striking. Colourful. That's ideal for cover art. Oh, is this the Death Angel? There we go. You've got Death Angel in the magazine. Why not put the Death Angel on the cover? Alignment neutral. 78 hit dice. Number being 1. Movement 12 ground, 20 flying. AC 4, no treasure. Oh, 1 attack with Death Scythe. 1 to 12. Save versus death at -3. Ouch. Ouch. So I'm guessing they're fairly high level enemies. Teleportation, flying, teleport without error. Well, it's not an instant death. It's a... Okay, that save versus death is a loss of a point of constitution. Right. Well, still, that's pretty brutal. That's pretty brutal. Good to have monsters that make players scared. But all remember our first encounter with a wight. What? It takes away our levels? Ah! And then you find out that spectres and vampires take away 2 levels. Yes, those were the days. Those were the days. Okay, this is more psionics. A dodgy piece of art. Vibro weapons. That sounds a little bit dodgy. No, John, stop. More adverts. Dungeon Geomorphs. I remember those things. And there we go, we're at the end. Okay, well, edition 6 of the Dragon. Started poorly, got worse, and redeemed itself towards the end. I'd have been interested in what was towards the end of that that edition, but too many adverts. Far too many adverts. So, first time they go more than once every 2 months, dip in quality, I'm afraid. But I did quite like that. Some of those articles towards the end. They were better. It's nice to see that the beginnings of Psionics. I mean, I don't know if Psionics appeared in Eldritch Wizardry or not, because I've never read it, but certainly if this is where it came from, then it's nice to see it, because as you all know, I was so big when this magazine came out. So I hope you've enjoyed this nostalgic flick through yesteryear. I've been the Old Geek, and I'll see you again soon.